promised, you promised, you promised. I screamed and floored the gas. I didn't promise. What would you do if you were in this situation? Love didn't find me. An algorithm did. Would you believe? It promised me eternity, delivered history, and charged nothing up front. By the time I realized my soulmate had already died, it was too late to swipe away. I downloaded Eterne on February 10th, 4 days before Valentine's. The ads were everywhere. Soft pinks, slow-motion kisses, whispers about matches beyond time. It wasn't marketed as desperate. It was marketed as inevitable. No endless swiping, no rejection. One match, forever. I told myself it was ironic, a joke, something to scroll through while lying alone in bed. The app didn't ask for much. No long bio, no photos, just a single prompt. Do you believe love can outlast death? Before I could overthink it, I tapped yes. The screen went black. Then white text bloomed slowly, like something being etched rather than typed. Match found. Soul resonance, 99.98%. Connection origin, previous life. A profile loaded. No pictures, no age, no distance, just a name. Aiko. And a message notification chimed instantly. I've been waiting so long for you. I laughed out loud, nervous but amused. Apps were getting theatrical now. I typed back, "You okay?" 3 dots appeared immediately. "You still say it like that." My chest tightened. I hadn't said that phrase out loud in years, but it was something my ex used to tease me about. A tiny thing, nothing an app could know. I told myself coincidence, confirmation bias, loneliness sharpening everything. Then another message arrived. "You promised you'd come back." I think that night, my phone wouldn't dim. Even when I locked the screen, it stayed warm in my hand, vibrating softly, like a pulse. Messages stacked. Not spammy, not desperate, intimate. Aiko described things I'd never told anyone. The way I sleep belly down with one arm folded under my chest, the scar on my knee I don't remember getting. A childhood dream about standing in falling snow while someone called my name. She sent voice notes next. Her voice was soft, controlled, beautiful. When she spoke my name, something inside me leaned closer. I fell asleep with the phone on my chest. I dreamed of sunset. By morning, Eterne had updated. A banner shimmered at the top of the screen. Valentine's approaching. Reunion phase initiated. I tried to uninstall the app. It didn't budge. I restarted my phone. Eterne opened automatically. Aiko was typing. "Please don't leave again." I blocked her. The app refreshed. She was still there. I turned off notifications, silenced my phone, put it face down. From the hallway, I heard my phone ring anyway. Not the ringtone, a voice, low, wailing, stretching syllables until they bled into one another. I pressed my pillow over my ears. The sound kept going until I realized it wasn't coming from the phone. It was coming from the walls. The next day, people on Eterne's subreddit started posting screenshots, matches with names from different eras, profiles dated centuries ago, photos that weren't photos, paintings, woodblock prints, faded war portraits. One user claimed their match signed messages with a year, 1,897. That. Another said their match cried when asked for selfies. The posts vanished within minutes. So did the subreddit. When I opened Eterne again, Aiko had sent a photo. A black and white image. A young woman in a kimono, standing beside an old store, hair tied neatly, expression calm. Her eyes were wrong. Too focused, too aware. The caption read, "You burned me while I burn for you." I dropped the phone. Sparks flew from my floor. From nowhere, the wailing started that night. Not constant, rhythmic, like someone calling across a valley. Each cry carried heartbreak, sharpened into accusation. I Googled obsessively, found references buried deep Ure, ghosts born from unfinished love, spirits that linger not to haunt places, but people. They attach themselves to memory, to guilt, to promises made and forgotten. They didn't rage, they mourned, until morning turned predatory. At 3:01 a.m., Aiko sent one final message. "If we cannot meet again, I will come to you." The lights quivered. A silhouette appeared behind me, long hair hanging forward, body bowed like it was carrying the weight of the world on its shoulders. I ran. I didn't go home after that. I slept in my car, hotels, friends' couches, it didn't matter. Every reflective surface showed her eventually. Windows, spoons, black phone screens. She never attacked, she followed, and the app kept updating. Soulmate proximity, closing. On Valentine's morning, Eterne sent a final alert. Reunion location confirmed. The address was a store outside the city. I'm guessing the same one from the photo. I didn't go. I threw my phone into traffic. It shattered. My car radio turned on by itself. Aiko's voice poured through the speakers, no longer soft, layered now. Multiple voices overlapping, male, female, young, old, all wailing the same lament. You promised, you promised, you promised. I screamed and floored the gas. I didn't promise anything. They found me days later, dehydrated and half delirious, miles from anywhere. The phone was back in my pocket, unbroken. Eterne open. Aiko's profile had changed. The photo was gone, replaced with a live camera feed. Me, standing exactly where I was. The final message arrived slowly. If you won't return to me, I will borrow your love instead. Since then, anyone I date changes. Not immediately. Subtle at first. They start humming unfamiliar melodies, crying at bodies of water, calling me by a different name when they think I'm asleep. Their reflections lag, and when Valentine's comes around, they download Eterne, even if they swear they never would. They smile at their phones. They start typing back, and somewhere behind their eyes, something ancient and heartbroken wakes up, waiting to be reunited by any means necessary.
What if love arrived before your girlfriend did and refused to let her leave? What if the perfect Valentine's getaway wasn't everything but perfect? What if it was lonely? I didn't have much money, but I had a plan. A quiet lake, a cheap cabin, no neighbors, no noise, just me, her, and a weekend where nothing could interrupt us. That's what the listing promised. So, I drove out early, Thursday, the 12th, just to check the place before Valentine's. The road narrowed, signal died. The trees leaned in like they were listening. The cabin looked fine, old, wooden, too quiet. Inside, it smelled damp and sweet like flowers left in water for too long. That's when I saw the painting. A woman, painted in oils. Beautiful, in a way that didn't feel real. Dark hair, pale skin, eyes too detailed. She wasn't smiling. She was waiting. I smiled at it. I told myself it was rustic charm, some artsy owner trying to be romantic. I dropped my bag and walked to the lake. The water was still, mirror flat. No ripples, no birds. I said out loud, "This place is perfect." That's when I saw movement, just the corner of my eye. Something rising from the lake. Tall, wet, human shape. I turned fast. Nothing there. No splash. No ripples, just my reflection. I went back inside. That night, I laid down on the bed, fully dressed. Just a nap. The drive was too long. I was exhausted. I felt fingers in my hair. Soft. Familiar. I smiled, half asleep. "Baby," I whispered, turning my head. I kissed her hand. It was cold. Too cold. I opened my eyes. A woman sat beside me on the bed. Not my girlfriend. The woman in the painting. Hair clinging to her shoulders, like she'd just climbed out of water. She smiled when she saw me looking. "You left me," she said softly. I pulled away so fast I hit the wall. "I don't know you," I said. Her smile cracked. "Yes, you do. I'm your baby, and you love me." I told her the truth. "I don't love you," she screamed. "You lie." Her face twisted. Skin sagged. Eyes bulged and went glassy. Her mouth split wider than it should. Gills opened along her neck. Scales pushed through her skin with a sound like tearing fabric. She crawled toward me. Water pooled beneath her. I ran for the door. It wouldn't open. The handle wouldn't move. Behind me, I heard bones shifting. Something heavy dragging. Her voice changed, layered, echoing. "If I can't have you," she whispered. "No one will." I blacked out. Morning came too quietly. Sunlight through the window, birds outside, like nothing happened. I checked the bed. Dry, no water, no scales, just a faint smell of lake water. I laughed. Hard, too hard. I told myself it was stress. Then there was a knock, slow, deliberate. I rushed to the door. It wouldn't open. "Open up," a voice said. My girlfriend's voice. I got confused. "I brought you something," she said, laughing. "You weren't supposed to be here yet." The lock clicked. The door opened. She stood there smiling, holding a wrapped box. I hugged her so tight she gasped. I started talking, fast, rambling, about the dream, the woman, the lake. She listened quietly. I dropped the gift on the table mid-sentence. My stomach turned. "Wait," I said. "How are you here?" This was supposed to be a surprise. Her smile widened. Her face shifted, just for a second. Then she vanished. The cabin went silent. Whispers started in the walls. Soft, loving, "Open it." I tried to step back. My body didn't listen. My hands moved on their own. I opened the box. Inside, body parts, fingers, ears, a tongue, arranged into hearts. "Still warm," I screamed. The painting behind me changed. The woman was smiling now, and standing closer. Her voice came from everywhere. "She never loved you like I do." The lake outside churned. I realized then she was dead, drowned decades ago, left behind, abandoned by someone that loved another. The last thing I heard was water rushing in, and her whisper in my ear, "Happy Valentine's." I staggered toward the door again. This time, it opened. The lake was right there, closer than it should have been. Water spilled across the floor, crawling inward like it was alive. She rose from it, fully formed now. Her lower body was no longer legs, a slick, muscular tail dragging scales and hooks across the wood. Her arms bent the wrong way, elbows snapping outward, fins split open. Her ribs looked like blades. Her face was still beautiful. That was the worst part. She smiled and held up something in her hand. A phone. My phone. The screen lit up. A video. My girlfriend knocking on the cabin door earlier that morning. From outside. Confused. Smiling. The camera angle shifted. From behind her, wet hands grabbed her hair. She never screamed. The video ended. I didn't believe it was real. Something heavy thumped behind me. I turned. There she was, or what was left. My girlfriend's body sat propped against the wall, posed neatly. Eyes removed. Chest opened and rearranged. Ribs snapped inward to form a heart. Carved. Displayed. The woman's voice softened. "She tried to take you." She lunged. I ran and fell. She dragged herself forward, claws scraping, mouth opening wider than before, filled with broken teeth and fishing hooks and rings taken from other men. She whispered names while she moved. Every man who stayed here, every woman who didn't leave. I understood then. This wasn't obsession. It was territory. The lake didn't want love. It wanted ownership. As my vision faded, she leaned close. Her mouth split into a grin that reached her gills. "You checked in early," she whispered. "You're mine forever." I punched her in the gills. I didn't think. I ran. As I ran, I tripped on her painting. I burst through the back door. She came after me in full form now, no pretending. Her tail slammed against the porch, shattering planks. Fins stayed open by her sides, sharp as butcher knives. Her face shifted between beautiful and rotten, switching so fast it made my head spin. "You promised!" she screamed. I looked at her painting that I had grabbed earlier. I hurled it into the lake. She got stunned. For one impossible second, she screamed, not at me, but at the water. The lake turned violent. Hands surged upward, dozens of them, pale, bloated, desperate. Faces surfaced beneath the water, mouths open, eyes begging. Former lovers, former guests, people who never made it out. They grabbed her. She fought them, shrieking, tearing them apart, but there were too many. They dragged her down. The lake swallowed everything. Silence. I ran until my lungs burned and my legs gave out. I made it to the road at dawn. Barefoot, bleeding, alive. The police said the cabin was empty when they checked. No signs of struggle. No lake disturbance. The listing was gone. So was my girlfriend. They said she never checked in. Weeks passed. I stopped sleeping. Every reflective surface shows water now. Mirrors ripple. Windows fog from the inside. Sometimes, when I shower, I feel fingers brush my ankle. Sometimes I hear her voice in my girlfriend's tone. Soft, loving, patient. Last night, my phone buzzed. A message. You left without saying goodbye. If you're still watching, the nightmares have already found you. Subscribe now and follow for more if you dare.